What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Starlight Digest, a podcast bringing you line talk and digesting Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. This is episode 110. 110. I just wanted to say it that way, just change it up a bit.
That was a fun way to say it. I like it.
We are recording on Monday, May 10th, 2021. I'm not going to put the celebration line just yet because I kind of want to do the line for the Book of Fett first. So I want to verify that, and then because celebrations, look, it's just so far away. So we're not standing in any lines because we're actually, done with episode 2 of the Bad Batch, which we're going to get into. So the next line, I guess, would be for Friday for episode 3. But
wow, well, this is going really well right now. Yeah. So 4 days until the next that we're in line. 4 days till episode 3.
Jump out of one line into another one. So
yeah, whoa.
I'm your host, Darth Moocher, and I'm joined here with Chris.
Hello. Oh, that was 3D. I know.
For the YouTubers out there. And Scott's here with us.
What's up, nerds?
And that's it.
That's it.
No one else likes us. We keep dropping crew members like flies.
What is going on?
But it's okay because the chat's here with us. The pit is here with us.
That is right. We've got, Darth Moocher's in there, of course. We've got Cliff. We've got Santo1414. We've got Gavin Connor. We've got Berserk69 in there right now. Plus, we've got a few others that haven't piped up just yet.
Cool. And we also have our Patreons with us, too.
Yes, we do. Our Patreons, of course, Gavin Connor, who is in the pit. Donald Salsky, Rebels and Lions. That's Crystal Lamphere. We've got Brandon Epler, AJ Herrera, Chris Franz, Bootleg Joe, Fanboy Mike, Marco Patsos, and Scott Crew.
Right.
Nice.
We got a shout out. I get to be on the show. That's the level I put on.
Right.
Same here.
Mike's not at that level.
No.
You can only come on once a quarter.
We won't talk about Ernie.
Yeah. Mike is a 5-to-1 ratio, so it's like every 5 shows to one of our show. Anyway, yes, the pit is here with us, and we got Star Wars to talk about, but not a lot. Not a lot of Star Wars. We got a lot of Bad Batch. But before we get into that, of course, Scott's leaving us. He's going off-world to Batuu tomorrow.
I'm going to go stand in some lines over there.
So, no, he's not leaving us. He's just going off-world to vacation. So,
yeah.
But in the meantime, when you're there, Scott, you got to check out the new Rey lightsaber that dropped unannounced.
Yeah, out of nowhere today, they announced Rey's Jedi lightsaber, the yellow-bladed saber.
Right.
Didn't see that coming. I mean, they've been kind of hinting about it for over a year now.
There were rumors, right? I mean, or were there rumors of just people wanting it, but were there official rumors?
There were rumors that they were talking about last summer of Rey's lightsaber and Princess Leia's lightsaber.
Oh,
so we got Princess Leia's, and I was like, okay, well, cool. One of those rumors was right, and then here comes Rey's lightsaber. And
I kind of remember being a one or the other too. The rumor was it's either going to be Leia's or Rey's, and it came out as Leia's, and then it was like, okay, that was it.
They seem to drop them though in multiples of at least 2 to 3, and I know Cal Kestis lightsaber is coming out really soon, so
cool.
Maybe before the end of the month.
I'm always concerned that they're gonna start, getting rid of some of it, like stop making them, which was always the rumor too. Like
they have,
yeah.
They've for some reason they decided to pull Ahsoka's Rebels lightsabers from her appearance on The Mandalorian. Those lightsabers, they pulled those
because she's getting new ones. That's why.
Possibly.
So
they
you
also
sell them all. You want them all.
I think that what they're doing is like, yeah, I agree. Trust me, I agree with that. But I'm like, I think they're getting ready for the next Ahsoka wave of sabers coming through.
Well, they did that. They pulled hers and they pulled her Rebels ones and put out the Clone Wars lightsabers. So they just exchanged one set of lightsabers for the other. They also pulled the Jedi Temple Guard. They pulled that lightsaber. And my understanding is they've also pulled Asajj Ventress.
Wow.
So they pulled that one as well. And that, they made those 3 go away. They brought in Count Dooku. They brought in Ahsoka's Rebel saber or Clone War sabers.
Right.
And yeah, I'm wondering what's next to go, because I could see Ben Solo's going, because I mean they're not going to get rid of Kylo Ren.
No.
But those Ben Solo sabers had like all of 3 seconds of screen time.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as somebody who wants to collect them all, they're so expensive that I didn't jump on the ones, and they're already starting to get rid of them. I'm just like, well, I got the Vader saber. That's probably the only one I'm going to get then, because to me that's a centerpiece to me. That's something that it's almost like given, that and Anakin's saber, right? Saber. Like those two, I don't know, but like I said, the Temple Guard and all stuff. But I'm a completionist too, so I would want all of them. If I can't get them all, then I don't even go get.
Yeah, because even over time, it might take years, but there'll be a point where like, okay, I need the Temple Guard now, and they don't make it.
Right.
Yeah, I know Scott's gonna have an amazing display. I'm sure he already does, but I mean, like, we're gonna need a review, man, because you did tell me if they do have the Rey saber there, you're coming home with it.
Yeah, I did.
So
that's the thing, though. I have not heard 100% confirmation on whether or not they've got it down there in Anaheim at Batuu West.
Right.
Batuu East, they've got them for days.
Oh wow. Okay.
They've also already preliminarily sold out of the Leia saber. They said they had no more as of today at Batuu East. So I don't know. I am pretty disappointed in that one though. Just the look of it I've seen online.
Well,
it's the cheapest looking of them all. That looks just plastic. And
I hope that if you do get a chance to see it in person, it is like a full on metal, something that's.
I hope it was just a proto. That was showing right there, and not the full thing.
And we know it doesn't ignite by twisting, so it's a button, which is non-canon.
Oh yeah, Ray's looks incredible. That one I can't wait. It's the Princess Leia one that looks cheap, but yeah,
gotcha.
They didn't do the spinning grip ignition. There's a little switch below that where you can kind of mimic it, but
they didn't want to put the engineering work into it. I don't know, but
and I think I haven't watched the video yet. I know there is a video up there where I think you have to open up each individual little triangle at the top before you put the saber in.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, if you don't at least have the ignition button, if you turn that to make those lift, it would be really cool.
Gotcha.
But it looks amazing and it sounds incredible. So We'll see.
No, that's cool, man. Also, and let's continue on the collector's front real fast. I know Chris discovered something really cool today on his pops that he came in, right? Last week we're discussing that new Vader pump, fist pump one. And maybe this is a trend moving forward, Chris. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. And you starting off with really cool and pops doesn't really go.
Yeah, it does. They're awesome.
It does for me.
Yeah,
check it out. So originally they used to be like on pegs, right? And you would pop them off, pop a pop off, and you'd have a little peg there, right? There was probably a problem with the licensing on something because they started gluing them on, so they wouldn't be a figure, so they couldn't stand on their own. They had to be on a base. So then they have all that. So, but if you're a toy photographer, you have to cut that off of there and ruin your base and all sorts of crap, right?
Right.
Well, today I get the Vader, the Funko Shop exclusive Vader, and then I start wiggling him a little bit. I'm like, oh shoot, look, he's on a peg. He's gonna come off. Then I pull a little more and I'm like, oh no, look at that. The peg's on his feet.
Which is odd.
You can see that right there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But that's pretty cool because for a toy photographer or something, now you can put it in the snow, in the dirt, in the grass or something, and then put his ass right back.
Right.
And he's home again on his base. So it's like a reverse peg. I love it.
It's
a reverse. Really smart to get around that licensing issue, right?
Yeah.
I imagine that's what it was. It could just be this only one. I haven't seen it on any other one. So maybe it's just Vader, or maybe it's just mine is broke.
Right.
Maybe it's a running change though. I mean, maybe they are creating environments that you could pop him into.
Which
I mean,
I
give
think
me an
that'd be
environment.
awesome.
Put him in an environment. Give me an environment. Let's do that.
That would be awesome.
Marco, 3D print me some environments.
You got it. Put it on the
He
list.
needs a Death Star bridge.
Dude, yes.
That would be awesome. Okay, I'll come over and have to take measurements of the pegs and all that stuff.
But now I'm going to need all the pops redone to have pegs on the bottom.
Right. They should have some sort of conversion kit or something that you can do that.
They should, but that's pretty neat because there's been times where I'm like, oh man, I want to take a photo for the show or do something, right? And I'm like, oh, that one doesn't come off, but that one does. That's some crap, and everybody complained about it. So that's the workaround, and I'm pretty smart.
Cool.
I never have a bad experience with my Funko stuff like everybody else does with their shipping and their everything. I think they're great, and they quadruple boxed it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you take them out so that you already kind of like 90%.
Yeah. So if this is broken, I think it's a neat break. If it's on purpose, it was really smart.
The pegs just broke off in his feet. That's all.
Yeah, I kind of want to grab a shitty one that's like $3 to replace and see if it wiggles off and it's been that way the whole time, or break open a base and just see if they didn't glue this one. You know, like it always does that, but there's no glue.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your least favorite pop?
My least favorite pop.
Your least favorite pop?
Oh man.
Uh-oh.
Rose.
Rose?
I was just gonna say it has to be Rose.
Yeah,
because I
grab
can give
Rose
her,
and give her a wiggle. See what happens.
give Rose a wiggle.
Give Rose
Yeah.
a wiggle.
Broaximi in the chat. Welcome, by the way. Thank you for joining us. Also, he says some. We would love to see some Funko dioramas, and that's exactly where our heads go around. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
if they're gonna do that, it's great foresight. You know, I mean, they're eventually gonna run out of stuff to do, right? And then they'll just have to like those plate like the deluxe ones that you got, like the Millennium Falcon and X-Wing.
Oh yeah.
and stuff. So
yeah.
that would be a great addition to it. And again, man, the customizers out there would be having a field day, and photographers. That would be awesome.
Yep. Good stuff. So back to almost a figure again, not just a display.
Right.
Right. I'd like to give Santo 1414 a shout out for some reason the guy just decided to send me Firefly from the G.I. Joe, and
That's awesome.
didn't ask for a dime, and
Wow.
I'm like shocked. And I owe Santo 1414 for this, because this guy is impossible to find. It's
Yeah.
one of those Cobra Island figures, the Target exclusives that everybody's clamoring for, and unreal.
That's
Wow.
awesome, dude.
I can't believe it.
That's
So,
Patreon mentioning.
Right.
Send him a T-shirt.
That's right.
There we go.
We have to print some now.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Thanks, Chris.
Let's give Marco more work.
No,
I'm playing.
no, we do have to get some and send them out. But dude, that's awesome. Thank you, Santo. That was cool, man.
Absolutely.
Because we
Yeah.
get to watch him play with it.
Exactly.
That's right. He is gonna. That's dirty.
On his
He is
OnlyFans.
gonna get opened. That's right.
All right, cool. Well, let's get into what we've actually got here. You know, what we kind of joined here to talk about, which was Bad Batch, which is the big thing in Star Wars right now. We're on episode 2 that just came out Friday, and we gave the weekend for the spoilers to, be non-existent. So here's Monday. It's spoiler time. So again, if you have not seen episode 2, it's only like 20 minutes long. Trust me, without the beginning credits and the end credits, like 20
Right.
minutes.
The credits are so long on these, like all of them, the Marvel shows,
Yeah.
everything. They're like full on ass movie credits at the end of a.
I look and I
shows.
go, look, there's 5 minutes left, like 5 minutes left. And,
Yeah.
and then the show ends. I'm like, whoa.
And we all haven't figured that out by now. We still get excited for 43 minutes, Silver 43.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like-
And it's on every single one of them. If it's a 28-minute episode, you're only seeing 23 minutes of stuff.
Yeah, so a little short, right? But kind of a cool episode. I mean, my overall thought so far, I mean, it is a filler, but it does give us things, and it does give us a lot of things to talk about, maybe that's coming up in the future and stuff. So it's not like a Clone Wars filler, where what this episode
no.
did
This was
reference
more-
a Clone Wars filler episode.
This was more Mandalorian filler because
Yeah.
it was almost a Mandalorian episode.
Right.
You know, so
Yeah.
it was
A lot of
very
mirror.
reminiscent of the Mandalorian. A lot of mirroring going on. So, yeah, I'd say that was that kind of filler, not a Clone Wars.
Correct, but it did.
God, this weekend I saw the Padme 3P or Jar Jar episode.
Did you?
Are you doing a rewatch or something?
I put everything on all the time.
Yeah.
If I don't have a book up, I'm sitting down. It's Star Wars.
Well, when you
Anyway,
start
sorry,
Clone
back.
Wars over, it's like it's only there's a couple episodes into it. You're like, what are we doing?
No, I love I love until that filler arc, how great it is. So I didn't want to go off track there, but
No, it's
the
cool. That's
beginning
cool.
starts off great.
Yeah. So again, we pick up right where we left off of the episode 1. I mean, right in the starship, and Omega's there, and Omega. Stare it off or sleep with Wrecker, right? In Hunter, you get that fatherly sense, just like Mando with Grogu, right? And I think the contemplating starts there. Like, we're soldiers. We're gonna be, we're doing some heavy stuff,
Right.
and we got this kid with us,
And
which
they're being
is
hunted.
We're
so-
being hunted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of key.
And we found out what planet they were going to. You got to help me with the pronunciation.
I forget
don't
where
even
we
know,
were.
but
We were in this J19 sector, and I forget what
Thank
planet
you.
we went to, but we went and saw Cut. Is
Yes.
that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
We went to the planet that they were referencing, and we saw Cut. Now, I didn't know this was first when I was watching this, okay? But I was like, this is very familiar, and then I had to go back and season 2 of the Clone Wars, when Rex gets injured, almost dies. They bring him to with their the droids are invading the planet. Actually, Grievous is invading the planet. we get to the deserter, Cut, which is a deserter, and Rex confronts him in that Clone Wars episode. So now, and he has his little adopted family with the Twi'leks, right? So Cut is living off on this world and everything. So we revisit Cut, which is a great Dave Filoni throwback. He loves doing this with us. It took me a while to actually figure out what was going on here. Like, is he a clone? Is he not a clone? He looks, yes.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
confirm. Boom. I mean,
Well,
right.
it was so that episode was really good. I remember that episode pretty well. And the way Rex had to overcome wanting to call him a deserter and hate him, and at the end really just understand and leave him alone.
Yeah.
And just let him be and live his life. And he made a choice, and he was allowed to make a choice. And it was
They're on Seleucumai.
Seleucumai. Thank you.
Yeah.
But that was that's the planet they went to, right? Back to, or that was a planet in Clone Wars.
Same
Both.
planet.
Is
Yeah.
Cut
both.
still on there?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's where
Same
Ayla
house.
Sakura. It's where Ayla Sakura was gunned down.
Gotcha. Yes. So what was cool is that, again, it's fast forward, so the kids are a little grown up,
Yeah.
The dead giveaway is the Twi'lek wife with the rifle, because she did that in the Clone Wars. So again, a great turnaround how this comes full circle, and revisiting characters like clones, the personality clones, not the cookie cutter ones that this episode plus the last episode are starting to get into, like the cookie cutter with no personalities. They're just soldiers at this point, oppressors. And it shows big time in this episode, which I freaking love, right? But of course, they're being hunted, and they go to this place because they need to figure out how to live on the lam.
Right. How do you not get caught?
Correct. So that's why they go visit Cut. And then right away, like before we get into like Omega's, touching sand for the first time, and it reminisces of Rey seeing green all that time. Like there's a lot of like that similarity. I love it. That discovery. And again, that Hunter and Omega's connection just gets a lot more stronger and tested this episode. So,
well, to that,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Just go ahead.
No, I was just gonna get
right.
into the whole thing, why they're visiting Cut and who visited Cut the day before, and the big question that we have, which was Order 66. Far as we know, Cut is still chipped and still whatever. He just left.
Yeah, because nothing happened with him and Rex where he would have taken the chip out. I only watched this episode once. It's been a busy week, but
right.
Did he mention it at all? Did they mention to him about they don't really know what's going on with
the only thing
chips. Tech they mentioned it. Tech mentions it eventually, but they didn't mention anything to him, to Cut.
No, nothing
so
about the chip.
He's chipped. So he's chipped. He's perfectly fine. So if he sees a Jedi, he's actually probably perfectly fine. Nobody's told Cut to execute Order 66 yet.
Right. Now, that's what we were discussing, right? Does it have to be a verbal order, or is it something that's triggered? You know what I mean?
Well, let's take when they were on Kashyyyk, right? Mm-hmm. They didn't do anything until they saw it and got the order.
You're right.
It didn't get triggered. Everybody else had to get told from everybody, Order 66.
You're
execute
right.
Order
You're right.
66.
Because he nodded to the other.
I think the commanders, down the chain of command, starting at the top to all the commanders now, because they couldn't tell the generals, because the generals are the Jedi.
Right.
So you go to the next set, that's why Cody gets to call and everybody else gets to call instead of the Jedi getting the call.
Wouldn't that have been messed up though? All of a sudden, say Ki-Adi-Mundi gets a call on his wrist communicator, and it's Palpatine. He says, "Hey, tell your clones to execute Order 66." And he's like, "Okay, execute." Yeah, that would have been messed up.
Right.
Now I'm upset it didn't happen that way, because I think that would
at least to somebody.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So we're assuming Cut is still chipped.
Yeah.
But then Rex. Okay. So if I'm trying, like I said, I'm trying to put this in all perspective, right? They're saying when the Bad Batch gets there, they say, and he mentions Rex was just here yesterday. And
they didn't cut him yet. Then.
Right. Well, again, we go back to times of the Clone Wars season 7, and Rex just fought it, and and fought the whole thing, and basically, that Ahsoka thing was going on the day before. Right, I mean, that him almost killing Ahsoka and her, and fighting it and everything was going on the day before. So Rex, from that point, went to go visit Cut for some reason. We don't know why yet. They didn't get into that.
But they didn't. You would think he would have mentioned it.
Yeah,
yeah. You would think he maybe he's testing his theory as to how their clones are activated. Maybe he's trying to figure it all out, and he figured that Cut was the only one who was not around other clone soldiers.
Right.
Maybe
he needed to test that water and see if I mean, we're gonna figure it out because Rex is coming.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what he needed to figure out. Maybe it had to be a verbal order, and he had to test out a clone that wasn't around other clones to see if he had activated.
Remember, the only
and it had to be somebody higher than him too. Well, he's not ranked either. See that there it is kind of.
Is he a deserter? I mean, yeah,
hard.
he's
or is this willpower? Because he has the willpower to leave and do his own thing, right?
Right.
Is that willpower more powerful than the chip because he was different? Is that because it doesn't affect him? Or remember, he didn't follow orders in the first place, so maybe the chip is just effective in him, and he is a bad batch.
And that will explain Crosshair, right? And why Tarkin enhanced the chip to make him do what he wanted to do, right? Like Crosshair, Tarkin did that whole thing about enhancing the chip, that exact chip, to basically follow orders to the T. And so maybe if you have enough willpower, well, Rex overcame it, so if you have that much willpower. But Cut only had one question for the Bad Batch: was where's Crosshair? He didn't say anything like, I heard about the Jedi, I heard about this, and why are you guys? He didn't even ask them why they're on the run. They just said, he says, where's Crosshair? And he said, it's complicated. And he just left it at that. And basically they said, look, we got to learn what you do, and we have to get off world. That's what Cut was trying to get off world because all the clones over there, and they were oppressing people, and they started with the gathering and assigning people numbers, chain codes. Which was amazing.
What's a chain code? Yeah, now we figure it out.
Yeah, again, you gotta just always revert and go, Dave Filoni. That's it. Just repeat that name. That's why.
Yeah, got it.
Which was cool because then we learned what chain codes are, and they're your social security number, basically.
Pretty much, it's how you track somebody in an empire that vast. Is you corner them, give them a number, and then and
then it goes down your lineage. So it's kind of like, if I can't get you, I'm going to get you.
Right. Because exactly. Because Jango's chain code had everything on there.
Well, you know what? In a galaxy that big, I guess you can't just be Boba Fett because there might be another Boba Fett. So you've got to be Boba, son of a bitch to
right.
Right.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's the galactic database, which is the chain codes adding to it, and also we got to see the end of Republic credits and the conversion to galactic credits.
Oh yeah, that was wild.
Which is awesome too. And this is the times, again, these are the dark times, and I love it. I absolutely love it because I really felt nothing was safe. Like it was a complete different mood from everything, and then everybody saw the clones. I mean, we mentioned this last week too, but everybody was seeing the clones as saviors and all that stuff, and they were all better attitudes, right? Like more
better people.
Yeah,
they were better people.
Yeah, and now they're stormtroopers, man. I mean, they are
just that Order 66 flips a switch.
Yeah.
There is a scene. I saw a mirrored scene. It was a scene from Rebels, and it was a scene from this episode where the clones were pushing around civilians, basically saying the same thing, get in line,
right.
It was, the difference was instead of being a generic voice, it was a clone voice doing the same orders and pushing people around.
Same guys that just liberated their planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is another great point, which is really cool.
Which is what Saw Gerrera brought up in episode 1. It's like, all of a sudden we've got to turn and fight our liberator.
Right.
The people who we're fighting with, we're now fighting against.
Yeah.
What a messed up galaxy, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And
freaking Palpatine.
Exactly.
And Saw. He's always looking to fight. If he would just relax for a minute, take a week off, go somewhere, go to Tatooine.
It's true. Like a week, just a week, dude. Like
yeah.
No, it's cool. And of course,
I just want to see him get his Borg gullet. That's all I want.
Dude, that would be awesome. What was really funny has been keeping me laughing all week was Chris noticed the one thing in this whole episode is what you noticed when the kids and the Twi'lek kids and Omega were playing ball, how the one kid got hit with the ball and fell over. It's just kids being
kids. Remember
that? Yeah, you posted it as that was the funniest thing you've ever seen in your life. So
that was Joey.
Wasn't me.
Or it might be okay. It was doing our chat. It was doing that, but it got me. It got it really thinking. Like this episode of just like I said, Omega stepping off the ship, touching dirt, and being like, "What is this stuff?" Right, and just doing the kid stuff because she's only known being a clone on Kamino. reminiscent of Rey and stuff. And again, I brought up that scene because I'm sitting there going like, yeah, it's her having fun with the Twi'lek kid, Cut's foster kids and everything. And I called it right then and there. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna try to pawn Omega off with Cut because they're trying to leave world. And sure enough, Hunter in the bad they're like, you have to take her because we're basically we have to go into hiding. We're wanted and we're going to get killed or we're going to be killing a lot of people. We don't need a kid with us, which makes a lot of sense. Style. And the same thing a Mandalorian did. So, the whole attachment or trying to detach itself from the kid, right? The Mandalorian tried to pawn Grogu off, and here we got Hunter trying to pawn, Omega off.
Hey, real quick, you mentioned the Omega. See, I'm going to say it now.
Yeah,
you
are. Yeah.
With Omega touching the ground and everything and being off planet, do you think the guys, the boy clones do that? I've never really kind of considered like a Boba Fett walking out and being like, oh, I just touched the ground for the first time, or any of these. If when Rex was a kid, did he go somewhere? His first, They probably didn't go out till they were full ass grown.
Right.
That never really comes up. So is that part of like Omega being different, like noticing that kind of stuff? Because nobody else notices that.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I think okay. So if you go with the standard clones, right? I think they run a lot of simulations and their, I mean, they go from like education to simulations, whatever. So I think they know of in different environments. I don't necessarily like went off planet, but so when they got onto like a planet like Tatooine, it's almost like, yeah, here's the simulation. I don't think they stopped
like a 3D simulation. Or
yeah,
some kind of
like Omega stopped into
virtual,
kind of like look around, and she's never been even taught that to know that there's such thing as grass or dirt or different colors. But the clones,
that's fair.
I
they're
think,
also programmed for war. I mean, once they get off the transport, they're in action mode. It's time to break out the weapons, and they don't have time to sit around and play with dirt and
smell the roses, really.
Yeah,
but I would love to. I like to think there's some kind of a couple.
That's what Cut did.
Well, like I want to see it. I want to see the first day. You're right. That's what Cut did, really, right? Mm-hmm. But I want to see the first day of some clones getting out somewhere and be like, oh, check this out. Yeah, this is way different. Like everybody takes their helmet off. They're like, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why. I don't know if I want to see it. I just thought it was different that we had seen a clone do that, and it happens to be Omega.
Well, they're emphasizing it for a reason. I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that could, like I said, it could be into her programming or what she was, kind of made for. Might be coming in later. What was really cool, like Scott, you put in Force sensitive. I know you're talking about something different, but what would be really cool is that we talk about Omega possibly being Force sensitive, right? Just because it's something different and we don't see Force sensitive clones, all that stuff, right? So, but maybe that would trigger something in her with the environmental and the elements, what I mean? Like the energies around everything, like she's picking up the dirt and stuff. And maybe because we figure she's an accelerated learner, she mimics and stuff, would be kind of cool. I don't know. She would have to have midichlorians, right? So.
Yeah. Would they inject midichlorians like from Palpatine? Like would he use his own blood and mix it? Is that what you're saying? Like something like that would have to be.
I look at the clones. Okay. I look at the clones. I mean, they're clones of Jango. I mean, 100% DNA crossover. So if Jango has none, they have none, and it's almost like soulless people, right? I mean, do clones have souls? Yes, they have personalities, but are they almost like AI, where they learn it and they're adapting to their surroundings? But do they really have a soul?
I think they do until Order 66 hits.
Right. Well, yeah. Then
they just become soulless automatons.
Right? Yeah. So, I mean, I've always had that thought. Like, are these so individually unique people, or are they just, like I said, an AI? Are they an organic AI in a sense? Like, these are the things that just kind of like it's cool.
Up until Order 66, no. Like Scott said, because we love them all up until then.
Yeah.
You can tell they have a soul and they care and they make decisions and they,
right.
Yeah, they do.
Wrestle with the decisions they've made. I mean, just look at the episode with, Fives and Tup. Whenever he sees his brother go through what he went through, all of a sudden snapping and killing Jedi, and how heavy that weighed on him, and how he made it his personal mission to go out and save his brothers, and discover the truth. Yeah, that they all have souls like that.
And it almost seems like it comes out during the war. Because when I was rewatching season 1, right?
Mhm.
And when you see the rookies going, and when Fives and Echo, right?
Yeah,
they're going in there. Cut Up gets eaten. Remember, right? One of those sandworms. When
Mhm.
Cut Up gets eaten, it's like, oh, Cut Up.
Right.
Boom, move on. There's no thinking, no anything. That happens later on in seasons, and you lose somebody close to you. You get a reaction out of them,
Right.
and then they're thinking about it. But then it was like, yeah, it's Cut Up. Damn, watch out for the worm.
Yeah.
That's it. So maybe through war and the real time in the dirt with each other and with the Jedi around them, right? Kind of teaching them that maybe it's all part of it, and then they gather their soul, so to speak.
Well, that was one thing that we talked about a while ago was the clones not just being numbers. They had the personalities, and then the Clone Wars cartoon brought those out, and it was such appreciated. So,
That's the main
and very
difference.
early. Go ahead.
I was going to say that's the main difference between the two different Clone Wars cartoons is the
right.
Tchaikovsky or whatever that guy.
They barely spoke.
Great cartoon,
Yeah.
but they had no personalities. They were basically droids.
They're fodder.
And-
Yeah.
And that was the thing that I really appreciated and enjoyed about the new Clone Wars was that they gave them all personalities.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
freaking D. Bradley Baker. This is pretty much a show of him.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how he can have, he's one voice
Right.
for all of these characters, but yet every time he speaks, the emphasis he puts on or the accents he puts on or the subtleties, you can tell which clone is talking, even though you close your eyes and still tell who's talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Oh
wild.
yeah, big time.
It
If
is.
like Rex radioed in at that moment, we might go like, "Hey, that's Rex,"
Yeah, exactly. It could be anybody, but because
Yeah, Rex was a great name drop in this one because it sets it up big time. And again, I want to know. There's just two things I want to know so far in this is what he went to go visit Cut for, and then two, did and like what Chris said, the Order 66 chip is how I think the more we explain it or more we digest it, it gets into like it has to be a verbal order from a superior, and that triggers something that just they go into like a zone,
I think that's it. It's hierarchy. It has to be somebody higher than you.
Yeah.
And it has to come down and get. That's why boom, 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 boom. And
Yeah, because even the Bad Batch doesn't know 100%, correct? So they wouldn't tell Cut like, "Hey, all the clones are chipped and they turned, but they turned on us too, so we fled." They didn't.
they didn't because Tech didn't even tell them
Right.
about the chip, and they were together all the time, so no one of them would have brought it up.
Yeah.
So
And
I
doesn't
like-
he say something along the lines of, "Well, I figured it out. Didn't think you need to know," or something
Yeah.
like that?
yeah, he says it seemed obvious to me.
Yeah.
So why didn't you guys
And
get
Tech
that?
is so cool in this episode because he
Yeah.
was watching what the Empire is doing. He's all, makes sense. Do chain codes, the galactic currency, it all makes sense. Why do
Yeah.
the oppression? And I feel Tech would turn also.
next.
I think he would go with Crosshair because it's the logical thing to do. He's the Vulcan. Oh God, I just did Star Trek reference.
But he's got a conscience.
Oh,
where-
wow.
Yeah. Does he
It's
though?
time to go.
Yeah, he does because he left with the others and stuff. But so yeah, going back to the episode, they're trying to pawn off Omega to Cut, and it was working until Omega's like, "No, I want my daddies," and
My daddies.
yeah, and as the Bad Batch were fighting for their ship, they're taking off because they got spotted and everything, and so
4 men in Omega.
yeah, so
I do love that it was hard for him to do it,
it was
and I loved the fact even more that when she fought him and came back, he didn't give her grief or fight her on it.
right.
Mhm.
At all. Like didn't give her shit, didn't try to dissuade her. He's like,
Yeah.
this is where you want to be, this is where you need to be.
That's exactly it. He was almost like, "I'm glad you came back," because
Yeah.
almost like you made the decision for me, and we can do this. We can.
It's like
escape with
his responsibility was to make that move, and then she took it away from him. He's like, oh, sweet.
it. Exactly.
I did the right thing. Now if you get blasted, it's on you.
Yeah. I had to
Right.
try. I mean, yeah. So,
Oh, shucks.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've got a question, and this might be something better asked at the end of the episode, but
We're at the end almost. I mean, it was a short thing. I mean, there's
Are you
not
asking
much
about
to it.
Order 77 and Omega? And that's because she's going to have an order in there somewhere.
That would be interesting, but
Wouldn't that
no,
suck if they make her
just-
for something?
the general trajectory of the show, and
Uh-huh.
we've heard of the Siege of Mandalore so many times, and we haven't seen the Siege of Mandalore. We've seen the aftermath of this. I mean, the Siege of Mandalore was, at the end of Clone Wars. Then this happens. But what was it that they called it? It wasn't the Siege of Mandalore, but pretty much
Night of 1,000 Tears.
Night of 1,000 Tears. There we go. Are we going to see that? Is that where this is leading us? Because we know that Din Djarin has the Darksaber. We know that at this point in time, Bo-Katan has the Darksaber. Is this the series where we see the Night of 1,000 Tears and we see Moff Gideon come in and claim the Darksaber and rule over Mandalore?
Moff Gideon in animation would be dope.
If they really want us to go ape, then the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm just sitting here, there was no real reason to have the Bad Batch show. I mean, it was an okay arc of 4 episodes in the Clone Wars.
Right.
It was okay, but it didn't beg for a continuation.
Right.
Not once did I ever look at these characters and say, oh, I want to see what's next for these guys. You just kind of assume that they were off doing their thing.
If it's a stepping stone or propels this other stories, which again, because we've always we said that, right? Bad Batch, we just didn't think it should be just another Clone Wars extension.
I didn't care to memorize their names, which are basic ass noun basic names.
Right.
And I didn't care until after the first episode. I'm like, I don't care.
Well, they immediately tied it into Rebels.
Yeah, that's all you had to do.
That's all they had to do. Yeah, I mean, but to take this show to propel, like you're saying, Scott, I think exactly that's what they're doing on this. Because
we know Fennec Shan's coming in.
Yeah,
we already know they're going to cross over with Mandalorian, and that's a pretty big thing to show early. So I think that's how they do the first couple episodes. They do all the previews for, then all the big stuff happens later that would never think of.
Right.
I think we're gonna get more big surprises in this show than we did in even the Mandalorian. I think there's a whole bunch of big stuff coming up that we're not even near imagining yet.
Yeah, which is so exciting. It's really, really cool.
I was just, thinking to myself, why? Why the Bad Batch? What could this possibly lead to in the future? And that's where my head went.
Seasons, 16 episodes. Otherwise, it'd just be like a 6-parter. Just like I said, another extension of the Clone Wars, and you get little tidbits. But no, I mean, I think me personally, I think the show's going to get dark. I think it's going to get, and because we're in those times, and it needs to get dark. It has to.
It does.
And it's a perfect opportunity to launch those kind of things, like the Siege of Mandalore, seeing Gideon, seeing that stuff that sets up the future of one of their biggest, platforms right now, which is the Mandalorian, and which is really cool because how are you think about like storytelling? How do you if Grogu doesn't come back in Mandalorian season 3, you know what I mean? How do you get the audience excited for Mandalorian season 3 when they're and look at the world craze that did. It's to set up that next chapter in the Mandalorian's thing, which is going to Mandalore and becoming,
you got to get back into Bo-Katan pretty hard right now.
Yeah.
You got to show everybody else why you want to root for Bo-Katan or against or whatever.
Right.
What you want to do. Yeah, you got to show that. So I think that's a good. I think this is got a good chance at least being there for an episode or two in an arc in this season.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And then there's also one thing I really want to see. I want to see a Cody versus Rex showdown. I want to see that.
Yeah. Me too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would be so cool. You guys
I want Rex. I want Rex imped out though. I don't want Rex in a armor anymore. I want Rex as an officer. I want. You
mean Cody?
Cody.
Sorry, Cody.
Yeah.
I want Cody with the bars. I don't want him with a helmet.
I think 100% will get. I think like I said, Cody. Yeah. I heard a rumor. This is a rumor for what this episode was, and again, it could be BS. And it was something I read. And I'm like, that would have been very, very dark and stuff, and maybe not something Dave Filoni would do. But again, he shocked us so many times. So the rumor was that Cody was supposed to be in this episode and kill one of Cut's kids. Like, yeah, but they did, obviously didn't. But I heard that was original, like that was a thought process of this going through. I don't know where those rumors come from and stuff, but I mean, I'd be like, if they did that, then I would say this is the greatest Star Wars show, gutsy-wise.
Because you just took Cody, who's not Rex as far as emotionally invested in Clone Wars, but close enough, right?
Right.
And just completely turned him. Like,
yeah.
Not only did you shoot at Obi-Wan, you just shot a kid.
Especially if like Cut and his family were running and he just shot and then end up man. See, that's
have we ever seen Star Wars kill just random kids?
No, not
like,
random
on
but
screen. I mean, I know the Jedi younglings, Anakin took him out because Padme was
but if you really want to put the Empire in that light, in that emphasis of like real oppression, that's what those are the scenes that you do it in.
Well,
yeah, would it have been like a intentional, like hardcore stormtrooper assassination kill, or would it have been like doing something else and causing her
think
death?
that's what it would. It would have been an accident.
Yeah,
like he shot at Cut to kill Cut, and then the kid gotten away, and that's what I was like in my head.
A stampeding Blurg after getting blasted, got scared and took her out. I mean, it had to be something like that. I don't think it would be a direct kill.
Yeah,
and I don't think they would do that on the show. But
and then you might even get a Cody taking off the helmet and looking, and then like kind of like, oh, what did I just do? But then putting it back on because orders are orders. That would have been the way to get around that, right? So.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I think it just hit me right now. I never really think about the connection to the clones and the Jedi there, but Obi-Wan and Cody. Obi-Wan stayed on the good side, right? And Cody's the one that switched, and then you switch over, and Anakin goes dark, and Rex is the one that figured out how to stay good.
Right.
You know how funny they didn't match up with each other. You'd think they would have learned from the Jedi or each other or teamed up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Never put two and two together there. That's cool.
They both went opposite ways.
That's cool. Yeah. I want to see that showdown. I want to see a Rex and Cody showdown. Because all of Rex's unit was killed, right? So can we safely say? Well,
no, all the ones on the Star Destroyer were killed, but that was just a portion of his unit. The rest of them were with Anakin.
But the ones that were with Ahsoka at that moment. So what I'm trying to get is that does anybody know? Other clones know that Rex turned?
No.
So he could be infiltrating. He could be still in the game. He could still be fighting. He could still be doing stuff. And that might be a reason why he visited Cut for some reason. I don't think it was.
That's going to happen because in the Rebels, when he's with Wolf and Gregor, they say they're retired. They still have connections to the Empire.
Yeah,
they were retired out, so they stay with them. Rex is going to stay as a stormtrooper.
Yeah, but not doing maybe as something like a mole of some sort. But I think he's working with Saw. He has to be. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of that, a lot of rebellion stuff coming through.
I bet you we've seen the last of Saw for a while.
You think so?
I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of Saw again because I mean he's there on his world. Onderon.
Would you guys want to get more Saw, or you want to just leave it and just kind of up to speculation?
I'm okay. I'm okay with it where we left it.
I was good at getting the two connections in that show and not having to touch them both. Caleb, like I said, we can do the passing nod at Caleb.
Right.
We can hear about Onderon or get some kind of message. Like I'll take again another. If we want to see where Saw, if you want to see where Saw is, maybe like a hologram message to some rebellion type thing, and just in the background, he exists still and is working his stuff. But I don't think going back to Onderon, that'd be the third time we've done it.
Because we know his story. We know his story from beginning to end. I mean, we know that he was working with him, just became more of an extremist, and Rogue One, it was a demise. But I think there's still room there for the connections of the Bad Batch and him. And like I said, I have this feeling that the Bad Batch is going to get directly involved in the rebellion somehow. Like I don't think
they're going to have to. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this whole season is going to take place within like a month. You know, I mean, I think it's going to span.
They become bounty hunters. I'm okay with
cool
that
too.
Because that's how we get Fennec connect, or try to. Maybe they try that for a while. That's when we get Fennec and see younger Boba Fett, and they deal with the clone issue there too. And Boba Fett meets Omega, and yada yada yada. All this is going to happen.
They're the A-team. They've got to, just go fight the fight. And
you said that. That's exactly what it is. It's and that's what you think about when they do the music in the beginning when Clone Wars changes to Bad Batch. It's even the sound. It makes like a whatever the sound is. Reminds me of A-team every time. I'm glad you said that. I completely not quite that far, but it's pretty close. The beginning is pretty close enough to be reminiscent of it.
Right. Well, I mean, they've got the perfect
I'm glad you said
thing.
that because I thought that last week and never thought to say it. So
if they paint their shuttle black with red stripes, and
I'd love it.
It's over.
I'd be all in.
Their helmets kind of are already.
They are.
Right?
I was thinking.
Yeah. I didn't think that either.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They are the A-team.
They are.
That was such a basic connection.
Yeah.
There's a leader, a brute.
We've got
tech guy.
BA.
You know. Oh.
Yeah.
What the hell?
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh no, it makes perfect sense, right? I mean, yeah. No Crosshair in this episode. So that's a big build up coming through. And I again, just like you said, you want to see Cody all Imperialed out. I want to see Crosshair that way too, like brand new armor.
Oh yeah, fresh white armor that's all decked out like.
I want to see with a cybernetic eye this time. It's like he just got implants. Like he went and did some things.
I like that.
You think him and Fennec are gonna have to go head to head since they're both the snipers on either side? Maybe
I was gonna ask, like Fennec. We know Mayfield was ex-Imperial in the Mandalorian. Do you think Fennec had those ties and broke away and did that whole story, or do you think it's like mercenary bounty hunter from day one?
Yeah, I think so.
See, that would be that's more ideal thinking.
Yeah.
Instead of always the Imperial making somebody and they leave and all that.
Yeah. How old's Bill Burr?
How old? Like in real life?
Our age?
I would say like mid-40s.
I can find you that information momentarily.
19.
I mean, I'm actually
26,
hoping he's our age.
He's 53 years old. He's 52.
Oh, good. We can get him in there
53.
too. We can get a Bill Burr animated.
We can. Oh, it's perfect. Well,
that would be good.
Young Imperial cadet.
Yeah.
Mayfield. Wouldn't that be rad?
Well,
and have
that
him.
would be.
They would do he would leave his voice and just. You would know it was him. They're gonna have a Boston accent and just rip it and just go right into the show.
Some smart ass cadet. Oh well, if we start seeing recruits, maybe he's first in line as that. As the recruits.
Oh man.
They go to Planet Boston to pick him up. that'd be a wicked pissa right there.
Oh damn. That'd be awesome.
BAHSTAH. Yeah. That's the planet name.
Yeah.
Love it.
Do it. Oh man. No, it's almost like everything's set up to happen, like to actually happen. Like it has to happen at this point.
We're kind of
we're doing it, dude.
That thing we always do. We make the universe really small, and it's because we love them so much, though. We love all these characters. We want them all to tie together.
If we put everybody in the same fishbowl, though, the little fishbowl, eventually we're going to get one of them right, and one of them will stick. And that's what we do. We're like, okay, this person's going to be here, and this person, and one of them's going to be there.
Yeah. Because eventually we're going to fast forward and we'll see Han Solo there and as a mud trooper again. You know what I mean? We'll see.
Right.
Or
you know what? That would be weird. What if this spans some time? We never talk about that. This is 16 episodes, right?
Right.
It doesn't necessarily have to go all within like a month or two. This could be, hey, here's year one. Here's we're 3 years down the line now. And,
I'm expecting a time jump actually. Like,
and now we're coming up on.
We always expect time jumps, and it never happens.
Yeah. He's
I think we'll spend the first half of the Bad Batch of them reestablishing themselves, reconnecting with things, and getting into the fight their own way. Like I said, the ATM, the mercenaries, or whatever it is, and then maybe we'll expand it a little. We don't know if this is the one and only season, right? This is just season one. Right. They just said, or not even that. They just said 16 episode season. That's all they said. So.
So now, do we want any of these guys surviving and then showing up in the Mandalorian? Okay, or any of the shows?
Because, I absolutely would actually.
Right? Or what if one of them, like he all of a sudden, okay, he'd probably have to be Hunter.
Yeah.
Because he really couldn't be much of the other guys too much while being everybody else, right?
Well, everybody thinks that Tech is Dr. Pershing, so because he wears glasses and
God, Jesus. But Hunter and Rex in Obi-Wan would work out. There's my new one. There you go. We're gonna get Hunter in a live action. He makes sense. Show him somehow in Obi-Wan with Rex.
Hunter
and
Rex in Obi-Wan series.
You just hire Sylvester Stallone, put a little half skull on his face, and you're golden.
Or what's his name from Goonies? It's the older brother. He wears the same outfit.
Brand.
Yeah. Brand. That's it.
Well, they call him Brand, but his name is Brandon.
Whatever.
Okay.
Brand.
Have you seen Goonies?
Yes, whatever.
Oh my God.
The pop says Brand.
Does it really?
It does. Don't be a jerk.
They're dumb.
But yeah, the Dr. Pershing thing.
It's actual thing. It's actual meme.
In opinion, just to say, hey, this is funny. Did you see this?
Is this true?
Some people, he said something along the lines of, some people just have crazy imaginations.
Yeah,
and
we're one of them.
I shared it with the guy, and he went off on me like I was some kind of dick or something for bringing it up. I'm like, I thought you'd like to see that the actual actor.
Yeah,
saw
right.
Your meme. All right.
Because they have both round glasses. That was the only connection.
Literally.
And they
Besides
were
that,
both
Pershing
men.
is a cloner or scientist, and they're never mind. We're not going to get into it because
Oh my God, it's true.
We could talk ourselves. We could canon that. I mean, really.
We could have went there. If it wasn't for the age, I could have cannoned it. It would have been a problem at all.
Yeah.
We could have went with that.
Very true.
Oh God.
Yeah, because it would make sense why he wanted to be a clone doctor and why he was still around and dealing with Grogu. We could have actually made that happen. We could have. Yeah. So it's not even that big a dick. I shouldn't have got mad because we would have done the same. We don't know.
Yeah.
We would have done the same damn thing if it wasn't for the age.
The one thing that we were talking about, I think we mentioned this last week too, and this is like a subject of do clones reproduce? Can they reproduce? Right? I thought at this show, like this episode, was like, oh my God, confirmed because Cut has kids. I'm like, nope, he doesn't have kids. That's not his kids. There was adopted kids of that Twi'lek. I forgot her name, but those are her kids. Her kids when
her name is Sue.
Okay, Sue.
Life ain't easy for a Twi'lek named Sue.
Yeah. So again, the question still stands: can clones reproduce? So
that's why they made Omega to test it.
And I think I said it can't be the Smurfette syndrome. It has to be something different because that's this is Star Wars, right? So
see, that's the problem. Yeah, it has to. It can't be a clone. They'd have to know. I mean, they're cloners. They have to know that part. That's something they have to know already, right? They have to test that.
They go on rec, don't they? They have rec leave or whatever.
These aren't the first clones they've ever made.
Correct.
Right. I mean, they're cloners.
They're known
good ones too.
Good ones too. Exactly.
Right. And
Cody's got a batch. He's got a batch in every system that he stops around.
Whoa. I mean, I just don't know. I guess the thing is, can they with each other? But then it's weird. Like we talked about last week. I don't know how to go around that. It's
well, nothing's been confirmed yet, right? Like even
Dude,
even the deserters don't.
Yeah, but they call each other that, right? No, it's not even that. It's you.
Yeah, it's you.
When they tell you to go F yourself, it's like literal.
I mean, some of you guys already do it 2-3 times a day anyway. Okay, all right.
Since 13.
We got to get this PG-13.
You said this.
This is why we can't have female cast members on our show, is because of this.
Well, we're all thinking it. I mean,
but it's weird. It's really weird why they made her. That's what I want to. That's probably the most exciting part about the show that I want to know is why did they make her and why is she important?
And they are giving us those questions, like they are giving us those leads and stuff to make us wonder why. Well, it's not cut and dry. We don't know. They don't know. Even Omega doesn't know. So. We'll get those answers.
It's because she can help bring back Mandalore, and be the armorer to help do that.
I would love that. Honestly, I would. That would be really, really cool. Even though yes, Scott, it'd be very, very small world, but
she's also not indoctrinated into the whole Mandalorian cult that Din Djarin belongs to.
But watch this. Here's the deal. They're all orphans now. Even the Bad Batch.
Right.
They're foundlings as far as I'm concerned, and they're all of Jango blood. Who was indoctrined in. They can go in and be brought in as foundlings, right? Even the older guys, they can all become Mandalorians all of a sudden and help that whole thing at the Siege of Mandalore. They help at the Siege of Mandalore and get indoctrinated in, or get brought in as foundlings. They become Mandalorian then. That's it.
And remember, Omega's not an accelerated clone, so
and then it gives her time because they have to leave Mandalore, right? And they have to rebuild. Then the heavy ass Mando, the ham, right? Is Wrecker.
Come on, Scott, get on board with it.
Get on board. You just got it, dude.
That was it.
And Omega is the armor. It's the on. Dude.
That's why they're there. They're already established.
Game, set, match, dude. That was it.
All right, so we know. Okay, so Wrecker lives through the whole thing. So now they
confirmed.
are
Confirmed.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I love how we could just come up with this crap out of nowhere. You guys are so hyped on.
Oh man,
I'm here to reel you back in.
Nope, I'm gonna be really upset when that doesn't happen. That needs to happen. Even if he's dead, even if did he die? They never confirmed that the heavy Mando died.
No,
right?
he was one of the ones that left that plant. When at the end when we give him the salute, right? He's the one who gave.
I don't know that he left the planet. He was just in his jetpack. He can't leave.
Right, but they were going. But they were going off to
find a new place.
Correct.
Did they just leave their armor behind, or
No, I think
was
those
that
were
the
all the
armor
dead
of their
ones.
fallen brothers?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure his helmet was in that pile.
Oh, see.
Oh, really?
I need to go back and rewatch.
We need to know if Wrecker lives past that.
Right, because that's still Wrecker.
Wrecker's the first.
Absolutely.
Wrecker's the first one who's going to go in this A-Team show of ours.
Do you have a Wrecker figure?
Yeah.
And
On
you have
pre-order.
and you have a heavy Mando.
Yeah.
right
It
there?
just-
Oh, yeah. No, I have the Heavy Mando, not the Wrecker. But yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah.
I
we're
will
gonna do
use
both
the Heavy
together.
Mando.
We'll
That's it.
see.
Heavy Mando. Wrecker lives. That's the name of the.
Same size
Wrecker
action
lives.
figure. It's got to be the same guy.
That's the name of the episode. Wrecker lives
Boom. Right there.
with the Heavy Mando. That's it. Done. I'll do it tonight.
You got to have the heavy Mando.
Done.
You've got to have the armor, and then you've got to have Cody and Rex facing off with everybody watching.
Okay.
Beautiful. You guys are getting
Done.
behind the scenes of thumbnail creative.
This is the thought
creation.
process
right.
after.
This
yeah,
is
yeah.
the after show, and you guys are in it during the show. Nice.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah. Nice. All right.
Easy
So
one though.
before we get out of here, what do you guys think this Friday is going to bring? Like, do you think it's be like a more
Wrecker's
just-
new blue armor.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you think we'll have a big reveal of some sort? Or do you think it's gonna be like, hey, it's more of a setup for our next one?
I think it'll be Crosshair heavy, like his
oh,
side.
there you go. Yeah.
I think we're going to get that new Admiral guy.
Oh, Rampart.
More him.
You're right. It's a Rampart.
Rampart,
yeah.
Admiral Rampart.
You're absolutely right.
The only thing on IMDb, which could be, I mean, anybody can change IMDb, but it says the batch gets stuck on a desolate moon.
Oh,
So
okay.
It
wouldn't it be
sounds
cool?
fillery.
wouldn't it be cool if it was that moon from Rebels? Here I go back to Rebels because I want to tie everything back to Rebels.
Right.
Where it's every time the sun is blotted out, those creatures come from.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there was all that clone crap left behind from the Clone Wars on that little moon.
I love it. There was all sorts of abandoned stuff there, and that's
Yeah.
why it was abandoned because of that. Oh, I love it.
It's
Yes.
it's happening. That's happening. Because
Man, this show can't get away from doing anything from the other shows because we're not going to let it.
but it's
That's
Dave
right.
Filoni, so I mean, like, you know what I mean? He won't let it.
And why don't we get mad at that? Okay,
Yeah.
to be honest, to be completely fair, and I was judgy on this episode because I was like, you know what, this really was rehashing Mandalorian quite a bit.
right.
From the keep him, no, I want to go with you, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
It was even to the planet.
Right.
It was really, it's really similar, and it just that irked me a little bit how close it was. And I get the poetry and it all rhymes. I get it.
Yeah.
This one was a little bit on the nose considering they just did that 2 seasons of Mandalorian ago. So
Right.
that
Yeah.
was- if I have a jab at it, it's that it was still really well done and everything was cool and I loved the characters and what happened. It's just it was that.
Right.
That's what we said whenever they introduced Omega in the first trailer she was in was, we're going to do this? We're going to have a kid in every season that we do? Because I mean, we've got Obi-Wan coming and we know they're going to get a Luke in there. So there's a kid, Grogu, Omega. It's like every time we do a show now, there's got to be a kid that the main characters are protecting.
I don't think Omega is going to sell as much as Grogu.
Oh, no way.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Though I do love that the Fets. Okay, did we talk about this last week, or was it just in the chat where I had mentioned this? How the Fett and family works out, right? Like how Django really wanted to have a kid. He had his own maid, right?
Mhm.
And then you have now the Mandalorians here all taking on to these kids. I think that part's really neat. How it's not even a question. These guys are supposed to be hardened ass people,
Mhm.
and immediate Hunter takes onto this kid like it's nothing. They
Right.
want to help them out. I just think that's kind of neat how there's this fatherly instinct.
Yeah, and
in
I think he did
Django.
mention something
Right.
too. He goes, "There's a
Right.
connection that he doesn't understand yet." Like,
Right.
I want to say,
But you
Well,
just
like
think in
even-
general, that's the way the whole foundlings and how they continued the
Yeah.
Mandalorian line is
Yeah.
by taking in stray children.
See, when
Oh
they
my
start
God,
this new
they're
one-
Batman. They're Batman.
no, it's
They
Omega.
all
it's-
just bring in
it's-
Robins.
It's Omega and Wrecker. They're doing it. They're bringing in kids.
Yeah.
It's confirmed. Confirmed, man.
It is. It
got
is, Scott. I'm on board with that.
They're Batman.
They're
No, they're awesome. They're Wrecker. They're Mandalorians. Watch, this is going to work out so well. I can't wait to the end of the season. We're like, go back. And
You're
check
right,
Out 110. That's the one.
Where we called everything wrong.
Shut up, Scott.
It's
You little
it's not
faith.
wrong. It's in the realm of possibilities. Let's just put it that way.
It needs
Sorta.
to be right.
Yeah.
That's where
It
we're
needs to
at.
be right,
It
It's
yeah.
so wrong. It's right.
Yeah, like my phone needs to be going off right now with "How'd you know?"
Yeah, knock on a door. There's secret service, Star Wars service.
So
Oh, you always say there's that. There's at
Dave.
least one guy who works for them that listens to us and says, "You guys kind of freak us out sometimes with how accurate you get, but
Yeah.
then you're completely wrong at the same time."
Yeah,
So,
and then it's
like
hilarious.
we'll get
how-
close and then take it off the cliff.
Like where we
Right.
were headed, and now all of a sudden it's the armor and the heavy Mando. We
That's-
were
no,
close before that.
That's there. That's the easy one. That's a dump.
Oh my god.
dump.
It was the talk about Mayfield and all of that. That's where we were getting close, and then you went armor and heavy Mando.
No, see, and I
Oh,
think
we're good.
I
We're
think
good.
Mayfield's pushing it. I think the heavy Mando and armor makes complete sense.
Yeah, by the time the Mandalorian
Okay.
came, he lost his sense of humor, so he's all brute now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Oh.
I'm enjoying the show. I'm enjoying it, and can't wait for Friday for another short 20-minute episode. So I'm cool with it.
Yeah, me too.
Wait up for a long time. They go, wait a second, it's over.
It's over.
Right.
Well, at least you can get a good night's sleep that way.
Yeah. But again, we could turn 20 minutes into 4 hours if we really wanted to. So.
Usually.
But cool, guys. Let's get out of here. That was a quick show for us. Thank you everybody in the pit joining us today, and spread the word, tell a friend, and we're gonna be back again next Monday doing the exact same thing, breaking down episode 3 plus whatever other Star Wars news comes into fall on our laps. Hopefully something as the year goes
Hopefully
on.
something to talk about.
Yeah,
Right.
And maybe we'll have a lightsaber to show all of you.
if it's there, Scott will buy it.
That's right.
There's even no question on that. So you'll let us know tomorrow.
I will.
Awesome. Well, let's get out of here. Chris, where can we find you?
On all the socials under the Starlight Digest podcast and Instagram on Hot Topic Podcast.
Awesome. And hopefully a Hot Topic book breakdown soon.
Dude, Jesus, if I get some minutes. in
I know.
my
Trust me,
day,
I know.
Dude.
That's why I say soon. Soon could be in so many things.
It's been so many things for me. But yeah, I do need to do it because, I got some more thoughts on it. Of course, I've been through it another time and a half. So
Well, the next book comes in September, so
November, but yeah.
November.
Yeah.
Cool. Scott, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on all the socials, mainly in our Sarlacc Digest Central page. You can find me there. You can also find The Art of Scott Solo. Just put an underscore between each word because, yeah.
Yes.
And maybe I'll change that this week just to really mess with Chris. And
We've all gotten used to it by now, though.
Woo.
That's why.
I know, right? But yeah, you can find me on Instagram. I don't think I've been on Twitter in 2 months. But
I had to stop, man.
yeah, mainly Facebook. It's our little group is this nice safe haven I really
It is.
enjoy being in. So also there's a kind of a poll out there right now. It's the 20 Star Wars YouTube channels for Star Wars fans. And we're on that poll. They're trying to figure, I don't know how long the ranking is going for and how long the contest is. I guess it's kind
For
of
life, forever. It's a living document.
It's a living document, yeah.
I love it. But we are on that top 20 list, along with some others
We
that
are.
are good and some that, boy, I
Don't
wish
even
they
need to
would
be
just
on there
go
because they're not a
away.
podcast.
Yeah. So if you would, it's we'll have a link for it in our Facebook page. There is a link for it on the Facebook page. Please go and vote for us. It's just a nice thing to do. You don't need to
It's just
sign
a
up
nice
for
thing to
anything.
do.
It
Nice
is.
thing to do.
Just put in your email address and vote for us. We've got,
Or just drop a like right there. Drop a
Yeah.
like and some comments.
there you go.
Love
So-
us.
Yeah, and also,
Please love us.
Yeah, and even on this show too, drop a like, drop a comment on there. It really does help get our podcast out to other people because again, we love talking Star Wars and we love hearing about it too. So, again, a comment of how our theories are just going to work out at the end. That would be awesome too.
I'm sorry. Did I laugh out loud? I
Yeah,
didn't mean
I'll
to.
mute. I'll mute.
Wrecker
Sorry.
and Omega.
Sitting in it. Okay, no.
We're getting the prequel to Mandalorian right now, and you didn't know it.
Right. No, it's, of course. All right, cool, guys. When Ernie gets back, you can follow the Toy Migos because they're still going on. Josh is still holding down the fort over there. So Toy Migos. Also, check out the ROU Network and the Red 5 Network with all the other shows on there. And with that, we're done, right? So again, thank you everybody, and Scott.
Keep it nerdy, everybody.